Alright guys, I'm sorry. I've been having to test the stream out and everything and still don't have it quite right. So just bear with me. Yeah, for some reason, I haven't been able to do that. There. Now, okay. Anyway, so yeah, I've been having a lot of issues with the stream, and if y'all tuned in lately, y'all know about this. But we're gonna everything should be good now. I've been troubleshooting, and I think I've got everything narrowed down. Audio is really bad. I've got it to where the quality should be a good bit better now, a lot better than it was. So let's go back over here to where we left off, from Melmoth of Levirum. Oh, good, you've come back to bedevil me again. Okay, the Ferratory, what happened to me? Curiosity happened to you. He claps you hard on the shoulder. No one knows. I'd venture so far as to say it's some kind of psychic defense mechanism to keep prying noses from tampering with it. But I've gotten precisely nowhere with my investigations. So all you get from me is useless speculation. I'd like to talk to you about the tides again. Why do you think the sorrow pursues us? He waves a finger at you. I don't waste my time worrying about it, like worrying about the death of the cosmos that'll come sooner or later. You want supposition? Here's a list. Because of our mad creator, vengeance, sheer bloody mindedness. Maybe it loves the tides or loathes them. Could be it hates what we're doing with the tides. But if you talk to Adiris, say you'll find she never uses hers. I use mine all the time, yet the sorrow would destroy us both. He adjusts one of the tubes on his outfit. I worry more about the deaths of others and how I might gain some of their knowledge, not about the first dead vendetta, nor our creator's desire to kill us, nor certainly not an unstoppable monster from the past. What are the tides anyway? Where do they come from? You know they're a psychic energy field. They pervade the greater Sagas Protectorate, but the pockets of tidal activity are localized in the Ninth World. That suggests that though they're a natural force, they're also artificially induced. Civilizations have risen around their use. He frowns. And civilizations have fallen. He scratches his nose. Odd thing, I've sought to decipher the accounts of those times, but the creatures that made them are strange. The sorrow shows up in images and sounds and spectra I can barely understand. He taps his head. That's why I sought a better method. You get the occasional disease, a strong mind that doesn't want to share its memories with you, but everyone wants to be remembered. Talk to the voices long enough, they realize you're their only true heir. Can you tell me anything more about the history of the tides? Maybe if you eat my corpse when I'm dead, you can learn some of what I know. The knowledge I have, too much for the spoken word. Hey, now can I go back and talk? Oh, while I was testing everything out, I did see that I've missed something over here. Talk about those upgrades. I forgot about the upgrades. Get my other folks upgrades. Your friends, on the other hand, I can help. Who needs work done? All of them. Allegern. Yep, let's shore up all his stuff. See, he gets upgrade to his armor. All of them do. Oh. Alright. That should be it. Let me take a look at them now. Sure they've got all their stuff on. Now he's got 7 armor and 7 resistance, 40% evasion, and 10% willpower. Wow, Alagern has 9 armor and 6 resistance, 10% evasion, 45% willpower. I'm not sure what exactly willpower does. I know evasion, I mean, duh, it helps you get out of the way. I guess willpower is the chance to ignore spells. I guess that's it. And she's got 4 armor and 6 resistance. Really high evasion, 90% evasion, and 55% willpower. So she's kind of a roguish type. Here I am, setting it lowly 3 armor, pretty good resistance at 7, 50% evasion, and 70% willpower. So that's not bad. Not really all that bad. If I got my, I think speed, your speed counts towards your evasion skill, if I'm not mistaken. And your willpower counts towards your intellect, or your intellect counts towards your willpower. So that's why my willpower is 70 and my evasion's at 50, because I've got 2 more intellect, and I guess they're about 10% per point after a certain point, I guess, is what it looks like. Maybe. I don't know. That's 20% willpower, and that's... Oh. I don't know. I guess I'm setting it about 50% on both, because that gives me plus 20%. I don't know. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. It is what it is. Have you spoken with Melmoth then? What did he say? He said that the tides are within us all and that we should use our powers as necessary. She laughs. I imagine he called me a fool, and worse, he has done more research into the tides than anyone else here in Milavast. Tell me, did he say anything else? He said we all use the tides all the time. That I should ask where your powers come from, if not the tides. I awoke with them. They are not, as far as I am aware, any manifestation of tidal energies. It's not as though we have a measuring apparatus, of course, but I think I would know if I were using these forces. At any rate, I sent you to speak with Melmoth. Do you believe that he has conducted his studies with anything but his own power in mind? He seems self-absorbed. No, not really. He wants the preservation of knowledge, I think. So he says, and he has certainly gone to great lengths to do so. I don't believe in his positions, nor his conclusions, for he may well have inflated the results to justify his actions. But he refuses my mind's touch, and he rebuffs my attempts to inquire more deeply. My own personal views are, of course, irrelevant to the deeper truth, that he has his own motives, and they may be purer than mine. So I have another task for you. Andronis and Rama are arguing. The recent negotiations between the Chalcedon and Paj broke down, and these two have taken it hard. They are like to come to blows if they cannot be reconciled. She bows her head. If one strikes the other, the laws of Milavest are clear. The attacker will be evicted. I don't know if the sorrow is truly more active. They came here choosing safety, and it is my wish that they have it. Please speak with them. Dearies, of all of us here, you're the only one who doesn't seem to want anything, who isn't openly manipulating the others for her own benefit. So what's the play? You say we're free to choose and to our own choices, and to own our choices. So what choices are you making? What do you really want? Let's hear it. She smiles at Matkina sadly. What I want is an end to our stupid internecine war. I want us to work together. The squabbles between our sire and those who support the legacy of the first mean nothing in the face of the sorrow. We get any two of us together, and the larger threat vanishes, while our death creeps closer still. She gestures to the beauty around her. Milavest is a garden, a cage. The sorrow can't come in, but we can't leave. Have you seen animals locked in a menagerie? They are restless, caged, yearning to be free, but if they leave the cell, they are hunted by their would-be keepers. So it is with us here. But instead of uniting to solve our problem, we lash out at each other, I would see us set aside those differences. You are my older sister, and so I am cautious in saying this to you, but you have a certain reputation, even among the rest of us who are known to be hard, unforgiving. You carry grudges through centuries, even beyond death. Matkina, please, you need to let go. Her voice rasped from her dry throat. Nearly all the authors of my tragedies have been our kind. Our sire, and his abandonment in my moment of peril, the first, and her order to slaughter my village, Taj, who bloodied her blade herself, Tash, who claimed to be a friend and turned on me, Melmoth, who offered me aid and betrayed me to the authorities. She turned her head to glare at Melmoth nearby. Need I go on? Do you always act with full knowledge, sister? Are your choices made rationally, with forethought, or do you react without thinking? Think on this, and think on what example you set. And forgive them, Makina, but never forget what they've done. She's right, Makina. It's time to start letting go of old hurts. Yeah, let's do number 2. She smiles radiantly. You have been given a wise companion, Makina. I'm not asking you to change now, only to consider change. As for you, youngest child, go and speak to Rama and Andronis. I'm confident your wisdom can help them as well. All right, farewell. Rama and Andronis. This man's face is flushed and angry, veins throb on his forehead, and his eyes are focused on his companion. Stop talking, Rama. He spits each word, gripping his weapon belt with bloodless fingers. Stop talking, or I'll prove you wrong right now. Ah, but it wouldn't do anything of the sort, Rama replies, grinning as though she intends to eat the man whole and screaming. Even this argument is part of his plan. Do what you have to do, Andronis. If not for the law, you'd already be dead, he says, and spits at her feet. Traitor, fool, you child, she says with laughing scorn. You ingrate. This is no way for family to behave. They simultaneously turn silent, incredulous looks your way. This is exactly how our family behaves, she mutters at your side. Get used to it. Adiris asked me to meditate your dispute. They react exactly like sullen children. Andronis folds his arms and turns away from you. Rama flushes and stares at her feet. All right, she mutters at last. Tell us what you need to know. First, what exactly are you arguing about? The two watch each other warily for a moment, as if speaking first will somehow forfeit the argument. We mostly disagree, he says at last, on the amount of respect due our sire. He arches a cold eyebrow at Rama, a silent question. She gives a reluctant nod. Tell me what's troubling you, Andronis. I just don't understand her, he says, flinging his hand in Rama's direction. The changing God abandoned us at birth, then fed us lie after lie when he chose to speak with us at all. She claims he has a master plan. I see a man who serves himself first and always. He doesn't care if we die. Even I care more if Rama dies than our sire does. He barks a bitter laugh. Did you know that he sparked the whole war from my body? He got the first angry at me, then ditched this shell, leaving me to deal with the consequences. Good thing the first knows the difference between the face and the mind. He rubs his eyes. But Rama, look, I know how she feels. The sorrow is hunting all of us. It's nice to think that the changing God has a plan to protect us. It's just not true. I know. He glares at Rama, then looks back at you. Damn it, he says, turning away. After a moment you see why. There are tears in his eyes. None of us want to kill each other. You see that, right? His eyes harden. But if I have to choose between someone brave enough to stand against our father and her, I'd drop her and mourn later. Let's hear your side, Rama. It's simple, brother. The endless battle is a test, and Adronis's side has been failing it for centuries. Our Creator managed to annoy the first enough that she stormed off in a huff. He even did it in Andronis's body. You'd think that this big oaf of all people would understand what our sire was thinking. She shakes her head, laughing. The fact of the matter is our Father created the sanctuary for us to protect us from the sorrow, but hiding isn't a strategy. Eventually, we'll have to take the battle to it. The gleam in her eyes is a banked fire, and when that time comes, our Father wants an army who will follow his orders without question. He allowed the first to spread her doubts, and the traitors among us have flocked to her side. She tosses Andronicus a scornful look. Even so, I'm sure it hurt our father to discover that so many of his children mistrusted him, she says, lowering her eyes. Imagine how that feels, knowing that you'd have to kill some of your children to save the rest. And that's it, she says with an elegant shrug. Simple, like I said. Andronicus simply can't accept that his grand rebellion is all part of our father's plan, can't accept that we owe our existence and ongoing survival to him. She sneers at Andronicus. If you hate his sanctuary so much, why not leave? Before I make any decision, what sort of solution would satisfy you both? Neither of them speak for a moment. Their faces are identical, sculptures of surprise. I don't know, he says, glancing at Rama. Nothing you could say would make us take each other's side, and with apologies to Yuri's, I don't want to get along with Rama. I've hated her too long. No offense. Her lip quirks. Honesty doesn't offend me. She looks over at you. And we need a decision. You can't please both of us. Our points of view aren't ever going to line up. Well, all right then. Can we talk about something else then? Your argument is based on an endless battle, isn't it? Is that why the battle's still going on? Yes, he huffs and casts a dark look at Rama. Whenever our father has the chance, he spends our lives like a loose handful of shins. We keep fighting to stop him. He grins mercilessly, to tear him down. You idiot, she says, but without real rancor. Our father never makes a move without knowing he's going to win. We're stronger than you, and we have right on our side. You're going to lose this war down to the last soldier. Then you'll see that I'm right. They wait for you to speak in sour silence, arms folded and locked. I've heard your arguments. I'm ready to resolve your dispute. Andronicus and Rama go still and stoic, showing no sign of the emotion they displayed before. In this moment, they look very much alike, like family. Alright, now let's look at all my choices. You're endangering everyone with this petty argument. Both of you must leave Vest until this is settled. Andronicus, she's right. You clearly hate it here. Leave before this argument turns to violence. Rama, he's right. Our sire doesn't care about us. Sometime outside Vest might convince you of that. Go. I want you to stop this argument right now. Neither one of you is right. Do you really want to break the... Do you really want to break the truce to kill each other over a point of view? Can't you put a stop to this? We are family after all. Do you really want to break the truce to kill each other? Put a stop to this. We are family after all. Yes, Andronicus, she says, turning politely to her companion. We are a family, and some of us have betrayed that sacred bond. You must feel awful. Oh, Lord. Yeah, this is going to turn out real good. A little passive-aggressive. Enough, he barks. I can't spill your blood in here, but I can damn well cut you down outside Vest. Let's go. Gladly, she snaps, her cheeks flushed. Have you two forgotten that the sorrow is out there? They pause. The rage drains from their faces in slow degrees. Good point, Andronicus says at last. Do you have any other suggestions, then? Something other than reminding me that I'm related to this zealot? Alright, let's see. Do you really want to break a truce to kill each other over a point of view? Andronicus opens his mouth, shuts it thoughtfully. Finally, he speaks. You're right. We're safe here, but the sorrow is circling. If the rumors are true, I don't want to do its work. All right, she says, letting out a ragged breath. Just let's talk about something else, Andronicus. Can we do that? Awesome. That worked. Holy crap. Now, there's some other people. Let's talk to Elkshay. Elkshay. This slim cast-off looks to be in his late teens. He carries an odd-looking device that resembles a scorched circle, and it's not hard to draw the connection between it and the red mark of a recent injury that travels along his forehead and under his hair. The man seems confused, hesitant, as if he has so many questions that he isn't sure which to ask first. I want to ask. I'm not sure. He gives a shaky smile. I want to ask you a lot. We all do. She studies his face and comes to a conclusion. I don't know him, she mutters to you. He's a newer cast-off, at least within the last century. Looks like he's been worse used than all the rest of us. What kind of questions did you have for me? You forced your way through our portal, he says. It kept us safe from the sorrow. Now it's open. He swallows, eyeing you reproachfully, carefully. You feel a stirring of forces around you. You were reckless, he blurts, avoiding your eyes. You've exposed us, maybe killed us. I don't want to die. He is on the verge of tears. You need to tell me how bad it is, and I need the truth. He says, raising his eyes again. Ugh. Have you seen it? Have you seen the sorrow? I'm not going to lie to him, sure. I knew it, he says, going pale. We're running out of time. Now listen, he says, blinking hard. This is even more important. Have you abused the tides to change things, to influence people? Yeah? You will, he says miserably. You will when it finds you. Every use of our power draws it like a fire in the sky. You should leave, he says, but there is no heat in his words. Maybe it'll follow you and leave us alone. His trembling hand seeks the red wound at his hairline. No, I don't. He avoids your eyes. You should go. Go before it comes for all of us. What did you mean when you said we? He blinks hard at your question, twisting the blackened circlet through his hands. I once fought in the endless battle, but found this in a giant clay hand, trapped in a half-shattered block of stone. I took it. He shakes his head as if denying the memory itself. Put it on. The circlet spins through his hands, faster and faster. I saw darkness, knew I was inside the owner of that hand, a clay automaton, imprisoned, knew I could control it. He shivers. I did, broke it free from the stone, used it in service of our sire for many years, thought of it as my armor. He blinked hard again, like a man trying to dislodge a thought with his eyelids alone. Then a war construct collapsed on my automaton, crushed it, and the crown burned. I remember screaming, then 100 voices in my head, arguing with each other, shouting, fighting. Another hard blink. The automaton wasn't armor, it was a container for gods. What do you mean, a container for gods? My armor wasn't a tool, it was a locked chest with a hole inside, a deep hole full of terrible gods. He shuts his mouth and says no more on the subject. I wish I could help. He nods glumly, then blinks again. What do you think it is in your head again? Gods, he says, many arguing. What was the endless battle like? He shudders. We were killed. The dead crept into my mind. They told me to kill more, and I did because that's what we do. It's in our nature. You know, we're worse than animals, cast-offs, humans, whether created or evolved. We are all inclined to conflict. Alright then. That was nothing. And I don't see anything. Monument tapers to a narrow point. From a distance, the obelisk appears several meters tall, but when you stand at the foot of it, some kind of optical illusion makes it look as though the obelisk keeps going, rising narrower and narrower into the wide sky. I'm going to touch it. The moment your fingertip grazes the dagger-like stone, your mind is seized by cold fingers and hurled high into the air. Shreds of cloud whip past, stars shriek by you and are lost in the void. Ahead, a light blooms, threaded with silvery ribbons of time. You plunge into the light, and a vision of the future unfurls. You see yourself staring mournfully at a half-eaten bowl of stew. It certainly looks good, but judging by your future self's expression, it was an utter disappointment. The prophetic light fades, leaving you standing before the obelisk once more. You study the monument, frowning. Though the vision felt true, it hardly seemed to have been worth all that effort. Perhaps touching it again will yield different results. Why not? Once more, your mind plunges into the open sky, through the grasping void beyond, and into the waiting lights that hold visions of the future. You return to the vision of the unsatisfactory meal. Your future self is poking a stale piece of bread into the stew, perhaps hoping to salvage the meal. Your vision clears, leaving you before the obelisk again. The vision was just as apparently useless as the last, but perhaps this monument has more to show you. Oh my lord. Touch it again. You see yourself asleep, bundled in blankets, snoring loud enough to tear holes in the sky. Also, you're drooling. Your vision clears, leaving you to stand before the obelisk once more. Touch it again. You return to the vision of the unsatisfactory meal. Your future. Oh, that's it? Yeah, I guess that's it. You see yourself watching the horizon with a thoughtful expression. No, wait, it's just a sneeze. Vision clears. Man, this is crazy. The obelisk trembles beneath your hand as though something has stirred or awoken within. Then your mind lances into the sky toward that prophetic star. You return to the vision of you sleeping, snoring like a cattle rail. Vision clears, leaving you. Above the roar of hungry flame, you hear someone gasping raggedly for breath. You open your eyes on a vision of burning devastation. Sorrow towers above it, studying the woman impaled upon its claws with clinical interest. Hands close over your mind and hurl it back to Mela Vest, back to the obelisk. You stagger away from the monument, clutching your head. It seems the obelisk does show meaningful visions after all. You see yourself standing before a huge organic mass. Tubes and arteries pulse in the mercury light. Thick tendrils extend from the mass to enfold your body. Weird alien whispers chitter and hiss in your mind. You see yourself standing before a ghostly woman. She looks at you, her eyes cold and hard. Stop him. He's harmed more lives than anyone can count. You recognize the woman. She's the same ghost you met in the Fifth Eye and in the Labyrinth after that, but you don't know who she's talking about. Vision clears, leaving you to stand before the obelisk once more. Man, this is crazy. You see a billowing pillar of burning oily smoke in a ravaged throne room. You, your companions, and a handful of unfamiliar cast-off lie motionless around it. Not all the bodies are whole. In the pillar, the sorrow turns, unfurling long claws, reaching for you. Do I get any more? Anything new? I guess not. I guess that's it. Okay. That was interesting, at least. Better than nothing? I guess it's time to go back and talk to the leader chick. Have you helped Rama and Andronis come to a conclusion yet? I managed to persuade them to their senses. They've agreed to a temporary peace. She clapped her hands softly. Well done indeed. Be free to choose is a part of life in Melivest. We must own our choices, just as we own our responsibilities for the outcomes of those choices. Before I can allow you to alter the course of a brother's life, I would hear your opinion on something which touches the lives of all of our kind. You have no doubt heard of the endless battle, but what do you know about it? Why do they fight, and who is right? She bows her head slightly. If perchance you have heard only a little about the conflict, you may wish to speak to your brethren before answering. What's the point? She sneers. The endless battle used to mean something. It used to be people with principles, but they lost sight of their true goals, and it became a self-perpetuating war machine. I don't think the first could stop it now, even if she were alive. It's worthless and stupid. A not uncommon opinion, Matkina, at least among those of us who abstain from the fighting. She turns to you. What about you? Have you an opinion as strong, or do you wish to gather more information before giving an answer? I can give an opinion. Very well. What do you believe the point of the endless battle is? Each side is trying to achieve its goals through force. It's war sense of violence. Frankly, it's not a business. Killing each other is deeply distinct human. One is for each side to prove the rightness of their position. Let's stop the chain of his cast-offs. Tell her what Mirakel said. The endless battle makes us stronger, though. Well, let me go back. Forgot about that. Makes us stronger through conflict, more focused. Say that. She frowns. I would then argue that our kind has become weaker over time, wasting our energies on a fruitless battle when we could be fighting sorrow. What do you say to that? It exposes weakness. There we go. It exposes weakness, the weak falter and die, while the strong survive and become stronger. Any war, each side is trying to achieve its own goals through force. The point is for each side to prove the rightness of their position. Does strength prove truth? Does murder provide justice? Doggone. What's the right one? Human. Yet humans have the freedom of choice and cast-offs more than most. There is merit in changing your opinion when presented with rebuttal. Only be certain that in doing so you do not abandon the truth. She spreads her hands in conciliation. But you must forgive me. The point of this exercise is not to frustrate you, rather something else entirely. She clasps her hands together. So, why do you think I have asked you this? No, let us start from the first task. Why would I tell you to talk to Melmoth when he ridicules my beliefs? Don't expose me to other viewpoints. Precisely, when we have incomplete information and are exposed to opposite viewpoints, how do we judge which is true? We must reach a conclusion at some point, but unless those conclusions are backed with incontrovertible evidence, you must never imagine that you have the sole grasp on the truth. And what do you imagine I intended when I asked you to intervene with Rama and Andronis? To resolve a dispute with regard for both parties' feelings and motivations. That is exactly so. My intention for you in this task was to have you change the lives of your siblings for the better while they still control their own bodies, to offer them alternatives and see if you can provide them a route through their troubles that maintains their core goals. Then we come to the question of the endless battle. What purpose did that discussion serve? Hmm. Challenging my beliefs with alternate viewpoints. Correct and astutely judged. The goal in all of this was to make you question your assumptions, to see things through others' eyes. She holds your gaze. It may be that nothing of import happens in Darian's myrrh. You may enter, speak with Mazoff, and leave without altering him a bit. But even if so, there will be other myrrhs. What if the next one is Melmoth's or Rama's or even mine? Whose assumptions will you take with you into that life? Whose goals will you accomplish, and at what cost? Have the power to change the course of a life, of many lives, without their permission or even their knowledge. You will have to weigh their desires against your own, deciding whether the needs of your life are more important than theirs. You will have to know with the utmost certainty and integrity, what does one life matter? Ooh, Lord, that's a lot of options. Man, how many options is this for? What matters is continuity of life, having children, creating more life, passing along experience. You're talking about legacy. Who cares? What matters is that you build something and use your life constructively. One life can find new knowledge, making new discoveries, passing along knowledge, making humanity greater. That's the purpose of life. What is life but the memories we leave behind? You're not dead until you're forgotten. What matters is money, power, fame. Life matters only if you experience it. If you let it wither and stagnate, it doesn't matter at all. It matters only as much as we let it matter. We make our own meaning, our own truths. One life doesn't matter. It's an infinitesimal spark against the timeline of cosmos. Each life is important. Every person carries a world of potential. Each life should benefit others. One life doesn't matter except insofar as it serves the greater whole. Huh. Ugh. Huh. See, it matters only as much as we let it matter. Do that. This matches my personal experience as well. We have meaning where we find meaning, chaos where we lack it, yet we would do well to examine this belief. From within her robe she produces a small, clean box. A stylized version of the changing god's sigil is emblazoned across the top of it. This is the myrrh-caster of a cast-off named Zarian. One brother looked into it once and reported seeing Zarian in the fields of Osiphagan, and later speaking with Mazoff. I highly recommend you take care of any unfinished business before you enter the myrrh. You can change the past after all. Anything might happen. Let me know when you are ready. I'm ready. I think. Maybe. I'll return them ready. Hold on. Is there a doctor in the house? Oh, no, there's not a doctor. Yeah, because I think I already asked somebody. There's not any doctors here. So, yeah, the only thing left to do is to go into the murder. Hold on a moment, you seem like a fair-minded person. The others here seem to defer to you, so let me ask, if the changing God was here right now, what would you say to him? What would you do to him? I'd tell him that what he has wrought in our persons. I'd ask him why he encourages strife, or I'd engage him in a discussion about mortality. She smiles a little. But tell me, mortal man, what is it you truly want to say? I want justice. I don't know how to get it. Your creator, the changing God, he was responsible for what happened to my village. Why haven't you told me this before? I did at the monument. I just didn't tell you it was the changing God who was responsible. He looks down at his boots. Back in Ormond, when I was the Aeon priest for my Aldea, I found a frame, a black metal piece. I was looking it over in my workshop, trying to figure out what to do with it. A traveler came through my town. He looked a lot like you, actually, though without the burn scar or the visible tattoo. You're not the changing God. Then it was your creator in your body who told me to activate the frame. How? And how? Then he left town. I didn't think anything of it at the time, but he scratches his arm. Well, I activated the frame. Black monsters spilled all tooth and claw. I got kicked out. I got knocked out. When I awoke, everyone was gone, no trace. The only thing that was different, the monsters scarred me. Their attacks left these tattoos all up and down my arms, a poison that whispers in my mind, a constant reminder that I failed everyone I ever loved. That was the changing God's gift to me. I loaded the frame, took it to Sagas Cliffs. Fourth Fong promised to help me. He found out he could fold it down, but that's as far as we ever got. Never even figured out who made it or why. In the meantime, I've been looking for the changing God to try to figure out what he knows. Why did he have me activate the frame? What happened to my family? And if I don't like the answers, his smile is grim and deadly, and his tattoos hum hiss with power. I'll help you find out what the truth is, Allegern. Sure you will. She holds a hand to his face and he stills. Allegern, what's past is past. Do you want aid? Do you want answers? Because if you do, your companion here is the one who will guide you to them. If you let your rage blind you and poison you, you will never find the truth. Look to the future, and well, do not forget the past. Never that. Let the past guide you. Do not let it poison you. She steps back. Here, a gift of knowledge for you. One of the blessings, or the curses, perhaps, is that as cast-offs, we can on occasion find flashes of our Creator's memories inside our bodies. Should you find the frame that was the cause of your miseries, our friend might be able to shake loose a memory from our sire. I don't guarantee its success, but she studies you for a moment. If this is the changing God, the damage from the fall has done significant harm. Your best hope is to travel with him. Perhaps you can find the answers you seek, but I pray you find peace in your heart. As she speaks, you can feel the tides roll gently off of her, softening the walls Allegern has constructed in his mind. He looks skeptical. I'll try, no guarantees. That's all anyone can ask. Now, do either of you have any other business with me? Let's see. And Ares has demons in his mind. Do you know of healers that can help him? Her gaze moves to Eridus. Oddly, he is silent, sober, and looking at you. Adiri's turns back to you. No, the only cast-off healers I know are elsewhere, tending to those who can actually be injured. My apologies. Oh, let's see. Show me the Murcaster. You have proven to me I can trust you. Only remember what you have learned in these tasks. Be gentle with Zarian. You are violating his mind. True to his path, find what you need and return without causing him harm. You have a duty to preserve his life as he intended it, if at all possible. She presses the box into your hands. Idle energy swirls around it, drawing you in like a maelstrom. Focus on it, opening your innermost eye, and you are torn from your body. Oh! Let's do this. Alright. I got full intellect and full speed, and hopefully I won't have to use much might. Okay. I'm gonna get me something to drink though. My throat is getting scratchy. Yep, take a little breather here. Try to lubricate the old vocal cords again. Because the game's not going nowhere. Not right now, anyway. Okay. Now let's see what I can figure out here. When you first open your eyes, there's only a ruddy glow and frightening shapes and shadows around you. The air is hot and stifling. As your eyes adjust, you realize you're outside, but the sky is darkened by clouds of pitch. The ruddy glow comes from lava flows as they trundle down distant mountains, the volcanic fields all around you. Sharp towers pierce the sky, tapered like the bones of a rib cage. Indeed, they look like bones in every way, as does the ground beneath you. You appear to be standing on the spine of an enormous beast. The bottom of its jaw can be seen far in the distance, half buried beneath a layer of cooled lava. Now that's cool as all get out. An animal big enough to have a city inside its bones? Most of the bone towers look identical, but one shines from the inside with an odd blue light. The top of the glowing tower has been snapped off, and what looks like a transport hovers next to its peak. It's your transport. You were sent here to find something. Twisted bridges connect the spine to the volcanic fields around you. In one direction lie enormous formations of obsidian, arches, spires, a wall. In the other direction, a narrow pass is carved into the mountain face. The field leading to the canyon is illuminated by hundreds of glowing lights. You know this body wasn't sent to find Mazov, but Adiris said he'd appear. Perhaps following through events will lead to him. For the towers around the spine. 85% is pretty good. You search through tower after tower. Some of the chambers you come to are filled with piles of dead relics and broken ciphers, but nothing of value. Finally, you come across something promising. You find a staff made of some prior world metal. It's cool to the touch, unusual given the extreme temperature of the air itself, and burn marks blacken one end. Very likely, this was used as a weapon. It may work again, but probably only once. You take the staff with you. Climb the tower to the transport. You are at the top of the broken bone tower. Jagged bone walls act as a kind of parapet. From here, you can see the fields of Ossiphagan even better. Fine below you, the obsidian formations in one direction and the glowing fields in front of the mountain pass in the other. Floating just next to the tower is a hovering pod made of azure steel. A ramp leads from the parapet to the transport. Alright, let's try to remember who we are and how we can find Mazov. You are in the body of Zarian Daywalker, Jack, who can speak with the dead. Indeed, now that you remember that, you can feel the dead all around you. You can hear them. It takes little effort to know the stories of those who died here. You may even be able to imbue some of your life force into their corpses. Zarian is wearing a black, form-fitting suit that keeps off the worst of the heat. He carries a whip and various necromantic ornaments. Zarian was on a task for someone called the Chimera. He was sent here to find some kind of sphere. Perhaps Zarian's mission will aid you on your own. Use your connection to the dead to learn more about the top of this bone tower. Little has happened here, but for one event that immediately becomes apparent, you see a middle-aged woman. You know her as Amma, facing off against a young girl named Thea. Amma is hovering in the air like the transport does now. She holds a copper sphere that glows with golden light. Angry words are exchanged, and suddenly Thea leaps off the tower and tackles Amma. Two of them soar through the air toward the obsidian formations in the distance. It seems like they were fighting over the copper sphere. Perhaps that's what you were sent here to find. Go to the obsidian formations. Crossing the volcanic plains, you arrive at the obsidian formations. Massive structures of cooled, shining rock leap from the ground, curling into impossible shapes. An enormous black wall rings most of the formations, rising 100 meters out of the ground in places. The obsidian formations are dark, quiet, and desolate. A hot wind blows from the magma flows farther off, but here nothing flows and nothing lives. In the distance you can see the spine and bone towers, and in the other direction the plain stopped at a sheer cliff face, with a mountain pass carved in between. Let's see. For this area, you search for anything remotely interesting, but the place is barren. As you are about to leave, an orange glow reflects off the rocks ahead. An enormous paw steps in your path, and the rest of the creature emerges. It's like a pillar of light with claws. 100 faces twist in its body, emerging, howling, and then melting back into the curling fire. The creature is easily 3 meters wide and at least twice as tall. The word Gamorn bubbles in your mind. Attack the Gamorn with the staff you found in the bone towers. You aim the charred end of the staff at the center of the Gamorn and press the button to the side. Thunder claps air, and the scalding beam of light strikes one of the Gamorn's faces. The Gamorn howls in pain. Its rage wasn't directed at you before, but it is now. It charges at you. You try to fire the staff again, but nothing happens. The staff is useless. Draw my whip and attack the thing. You lash your whip at the Gamorn. It has as much effect as a campfire. Well, I guess I'm getting out of here. The Gamorn lets out a piercing cry. It stays right on your tail the entire way, forcing you to sprint, gasping for breath in the hot air. You can feel the Gamorn's rage like a hand pressing against your back. It presses harder, squeezing your mind. The Gamorn's howl makes the ground tremble. Suddenly, the pressure releases and the air turns burning cold. You risk a glance behind you and realize you are in the center of the plains leading to the mountain pass, surrounded by fire wights. The Gamorn grabs wights one at a time, tearing them in two, then tossing them aside. The wights rush forward together to defend themselves against the horrible beast. In their anger, you are forgotten and ignored. Your connection to the dead. You see a group of people in tattered clothing march through the pass and out of these fields. They are terrified, having lost many of their number to the wights. You see 2 figures riding a small flying platform, almost like a shield. Suddenly the platform teeters and the figures fall. You can see the spot where the shield fell, and though the bodies are no longer there, you can feel their presence very strongly. There, a short distance away, you can see where one of the figures dropped what looks like a copper sphere. Get the shield. The wights don't bother you as you try to pry the shield from the ground, but after a few moments of tugging and digging, you realize it's impossible. The rock has cooled and melted and cooled again several times around the device. It's not going anywhere. Use your connection to the dead, animate the corpse, and have the corpse get the sphere for you. Reaching into the earth, you find the body called Ama and summon her forth with uncanny strength. She crawls out from the cool rock, though her skin is charred and rotting. A cast-off tattoo is clearly visible on her head. You command her to collect the sphere. The wights are preoccupied with the Gamorn, so Ama's body reaches the sphere easily and returns it to you. Then the corpse collapses. Turn to the spine. You are on the spine of a great dead monster. Okay, now I need to climb to the top and enter the transport. You step aboard. The transport does not appear to have been made with adult humans in mind. There is only room enough for you to lay down, and even then you have to roll on your side and bend in your legs slightly. As soon as you have done so, the ramp recedes and the doorway disappears. Your stomach lurches as the transport takes to the sky. At first you try to peer out of the tiny portholes, but all you see is pitch black, presumably the volcano's black clouds. Eventually they are replaced by black of a starry night. You try to see the land below, but it's impossible in the cramped space. Hours pass. Finally the transport slows. Its humming ceases and the door reappears. You step out of the transport, stretching painfully. You are in a strange cavern. Artifacts are strewn everywhere in various stages of repair or experimentation. One wall is covered by a network of displays showing people and scenes that mean nothing to you. At the center of the room is an enormous cage made from steel tendrils that twist together at the top. The cage glows for a moment and a figure walks out. He wears a thick coat, but his face is most strange. It shifts and blurs, changing its features constantly. You get the impression you are seeing a person, but you can't define what that person looks like at all. His name comes to your mind immediately. The Chimera. Excellent. The Chimera's voice is metallic and artificial, shifting as often as the features of his face. The expressions slide and change, but all of them are smiling as he reaches forward and takes the sphere from you. I knew your unique gifts would come in handy, Zurian. I'm impressed that you found the Erlemnian so quickly. The Chimera sets the Erlemnian on a nearby table with a clunk. He immediately picks up a variety of scanning tools, one after the other, probing the Erlemian and its secrets. He seems to have forgotten about you. You look around the cavern, but there are no entrance or exits. Nowhere this Mazov could be except for the cage. Examine the cage to figure out how it works. You take 2 steps towards the cage, but the moment you reach your hand towards it, the Chimera stops you with a bark. What do you think you're doing? Your mission is complete. I have no purpose for you out there. I want to speak to Mazov about the artifact I found. Mazov, the Chimera's altering voice, slips from baritone to falsetto in a rapid series of notes. A dozen different eyes narrow with suspicion. I'm not sure that tinkerer could tell you anything useful, but I can think of no reason to deny you. The Chimera turns and slides a hand through one of the metal tendrils. Although no discernible interface appears, he presses his fingers against the metal twice. And twice, and the cage begins to glow. The Chimera turns his attention back to the sphere, indicating you should enter the cage with a dismissive wave. 2 of the metal tendrils become a kind of doorway. On the other side, Mazov squats on some sandy alien shore. Stars twinkle in the sky behind him, but they are no stars you recognize. He picks up his head as though he heard something. Then he turns around to face you. One of his eye sockets is artificial, alternately projecting a human eye, a snake's eye, and something even more alien in the time he looks you over. He looks like a shipwreck survivor, bare-chested, ragged pants, ragged beard. If so, he's better fed than you'd expect. Thurian, he says, his human eye squinting in the light. What the hells do you want? He peers forward as though trying to see into the cavern. He spreads his arms in mock welcome. Oh man, messed up. Can't scroll no further up. He spreads his arms in mock welcome. I'm on a goddamned beach, having the time of my life. Where does it look like I am? He crosses his arms across his chest. What the hells did you want? You're not in the Chimera's hideout. Where is that place? Are you really Mazov, the one who talks to machines? I'm not really there. When you cast off using my cast to protect myself, I told you I have to fix it. The resonance chamber has been smashed. I need to know how to fix it. He puts a hand to his chin, all anger and suspicion gone in the face of a puzzle. Well, it ain't that hard if you know the basics. The chamber's crystal, yeah, so it's grown, not built. So long as the chamber's core is intact, it should know how to grow itself. Just need a catalyst to... He trails off and looks at you and you. Why do you want to know this? The resonance chamber's only good for... He gives you an angry look. Who sent you? Why are you after this? See, I'm talking about sorrow, specter. Uh, the specter, a being in my head, he told me if I fix it, I could stop the sorrow from hunting us down. Azoth barks a short, bitter laugh. I don't doubt it would stop the sorrow and a great many other things. I don't know how, but the changing God's trying to use you. If that chamber's fixed, nobody benefits but him. You can't trust a damned word that bastard says. How would the resonance chamber benefit the changing God? The resonance chamber is only good for one thing. He held up a finger, and that's snuffing us out. Changing God plans to use it to merge all of us, every cast off that still lives, back into his body. That's his plan for stopping the sorrow. He puts a grease-stained hand on your shoulder. Look, I don't know who you are or what your part of this is, but you cannot let him activate that chamber. He glances over your shoulder at something in the cavern, though when you turn you see nothing there. The first is alive, he whispers, drawing your attention back to him, and she's got her own plan for the chamber, one that won't kill us all. Our sire has a new cast-off body that he plans to use as a catalyst for the chamber, but the first has a better plan, something that won't snuff out every last one of us. Look for her in the bloom, he says grimly. Just make sure you don't. Before he can finish, you feel a wrenching twist in the center of your body, like your heart is being wrung dry. Your vision tunnels black, and you feel as though your body were being sucked through a steel pipe. You're being pulled out of the murk, but it's far more painful than it ever was before. Then, Azoth, the cave, and everything else disappears. I didn't even have to use it again. It was strange. First time I had to use a lot of intelligence. What? You plant your hand on the icy floor and push, staggering up to your feet. Every inch of your body aches as though you've been crushed in a massive hand. Spectre stands before you, impassive. It may be your imagination, but he seems more solid than. I thought there was something funny about that Spectre. He didn't look like us, but he was part of us. That didn't make any sense. What's happening? Why am I in the labyrinth? Your words tumble into the air and fall apart like handfuls of dust. And this time you're certain the Spectre is less transparent than he was even a second ago. I brought you here, the Spectre says calmly. We need to talk. Barely hear him through the pain. But this is your mind, honed in the psychic battle you fought alongside the warriors in the Fifth Eye, sharpened to a glittering edge. You inhale, clear the pain from your limbs, and gather your thoughts to you. Focusing, you open your eyes. Spectre, now slightly transparent, speaking you. I have something I've been meaning to tell you. I haven't been completely honest with you. I'm not a part of you. You're part of me. I created you. I'm the changing God. I've been wondering where you were. Here, he says simply, his outline solidifying. Here all alone. Now I know this is a lot to take in. It means this body of yours is actually mine. I lived in it for years, and now that we know the first is still alive, I need it back. What would happen to me? A good question, he says. He seems taller than he did a moment before. Once you give me my body back, your thoughts would be pushed to the back of my mind. It would be frightening for a moment, disorienting maybe, but not painful. Then our thoughts would merge. You'd become a part of me again. He spreads his hands. That's it. Now, give me my body back. No. I knew you'd say that. But let's get this straight. I've lived in this body. I made it for a purpose. And now you say your wisp of a life outweighs my centuries of experience. Or maybe you think my first cast-off has a better way, some magical solution to live out your false existence without a price. I promise you, she has no such thing. She has always only killed to get what she wants. Her self-interest is just as strong as yours and mine. The only difference between the three of us is that I am real. Wouldn't exist if it weren't for me. You don't exist apart from me. Everything you are is a byproduct of my skills, my intellect, my experiences, and now that I have the chance to stop the sorrow to save us all, you refuse me? Who in the hells are you? The new owner of this body. Ooh, wait a minute, the changing god. Yeah, there we go. No, let me tell you what you are. You're an accident of fate, a parasite in the mind. I built. You are a child. I don't want to destroy you, but I will if I must. Give me control. Never. Then I'll take it, the spectre says, and spreads his arms. Tidal energy pours from the air around you, flowing into the spectre. The ground itself slips around your feet, holding you in place. Feel your grip on your body, your mind slipping by the finger lengths. You are diminishing. He is winning. Search your mind, your hard-earned memories, for something that will loosen his hold on you. Let's see. Ooh. Your machines have driven women mad and Sagas. Driven women in Sagas mad. What makes you think you deserve to return? The Spectre winces as if you have struck him and mutters something under his breath. His outline blurs, becoming hazier. Call upon the ghostly woman from the recesses of your mind. The moment your mind touches on her, she is there, facing the spectre, sorrow and anger radiating from her heart. Scowling, the spectre flicks his hand to the side in a dismissive gesture, and she fades away once more, taking some of his radiance with her. Outline flickers once, like a candle in the soft breeze. Unleash the words of Kra on the spectre. Drawing breath, you shout the sharp, barbed words that once destroyed the people of ancient Kra. They tear themselves from you and lunge at the spectre, closing over his mind like a mouthful of yellow, jagged teeth. Staggers, hissing, then plunges his hands into his head. One by one, the spectre pulls the words out and crushes them in his now fading fists. He is nearly transparent now, nearly gone. Pull your feet free. You struggle against the ground even as it creeps up your legs, but cannot free yourself. I'm going to rip you out of my mind. His expression hardens. You won't live that long. In another few minutes, your mind will be tattered wisp of thought fading into the air. We don't need to fight. We aren't fighting, the spectre says in a level voice. An argument requires two people. At best, you're a muscle cramp, a headache, and you will subside. Try to pull my feet free again. Groaning, you strain against the floor, holding you in place, but no, you're trapped. Oh, tidal surge. Turn the tides against the spectre. The spectre's eyes widen as you straighten, gathering the threads of the tides in your hands. Straighten them before you. Don't, the spectre growls, but you ignore him, wrenching the threads apart. Agony explodes in your mind, lashing through your body, damaging essential parts of you, and the spectre as well. Ooh, took some damage there. With a shuddering gasp, he stumbles backwards, fading in and out of visibility. The pressure on your mind dwindles and ends. Fine, he says, eyeing you with cool contempt. If you're so intent on stopping the sorrow on your own, have at it. Let's see how you handle what's in store without my help, my guidance. Then he fades completely, but speaks again. His voice is coming from all around you, every corner of your mind. He's not gone, only hidden himself in your mind. I wasted my time trying to reason with you. That won't happen again. Oh, drop mic. That just happened. Get you some. Don't mind if I do. Oh, lordy, lordy. That was fun. I mean, yeah, it's just basically going through the text, but actually learning some of the story now. we got? Another 100 XP. Wow. As the portal closes behind you, something feels off. It only takes you a second to realize the specter is gone. It is quieter now, the calm of your mind. He's not truly gone, is he? You can still feel him out there, watching, waiting, perhaps for a moment of weakness in which to strike. Go ahead and advance. Increase edge, of course. I'm going to go with intellect. You reached tier 3. About time. I got 1 point. 1 point. Versatile effort. When select skill is active, gain plus 5% warrant for each level of effort applied to tasks effects. Attack that deals weapon damage plus 3. No. Fling a cloud of nanoparticles in front of you. No. Charm. Automatically succeed on the next persuasion, deception, or intimidation task. Do that. Now, I want. What do I want? I want concentration. I think I do want concentration. I shouldn't have any. Yep, no negative fetals. Wow, I got 2 advances. Increase stat pools. I got 2.
My understanding has increased.
Yeah. Awesome. Got 2 levels out of that. That's awesome.
All right.
Yeah, get out of here now.
Much better.
Oh, it must have healed me up. Out of there. Okay. Fill up my stat pool, my HP, and all that. Alright. We're back. Oh, wow. Where the crap are we? Oh, this is... Uh-oh. Something happened while I was gone. Your eyes snap open, and at first you fear you've fallen deeper into the labyrinth, another fathom. Flames rake the ground around you, bedrock buckling under the heat. The image of Adires resolves as your vision adjusts to the searing light. Her composure is beginning to crack. You can see the fear in her eyes, held in check only by her iron will. You're awake quickly now. Why you were inside the myrrh gods. The shields have fallen. The sorrow is breaking into the sanctuary. She scans the area. It's destroying our home. The others are trying to hold it back, but tell me first, did you find what you were looking for? Okay. I found some hope. First is alive. She's in hiding in the bloom. She reels, but how? No. That's not important now. What's important is that you find her. She's the only one who will help us against the sorrow. Our sire has shut himself away from us, and we can't count on him for help. Now we must deal with the situation at hand. A few have already escaped, but most are trapped within the rubble and flames, some too terrified to move. You must get to the teleportation platform and flee. Save as many as you can on your way. Series. Although the dome no longer encircles our sanctuary, the generators may hold enough power to slow the sorrow's progress. They can be activated by placing your palm here and whistling this tune. Her dry lips rasp a 5-note decant. that you commit to memory. He plants a kiss on your cheek. Good luck, brother. Make sure as many survive as possible. She runs off, her voice raised in command, as if the quiet matron of Mila Vest had never existed. All right then. First, let's see what do we have. Okay, so I need to. Oh no. Few weaker rocks lie cracked below a larger group of boulders. If they can be removed, the rubble will collapse. Yep. Let's do this. Few of the rocks break free. Those remaining cannot support the boulders above. The pile collapses out way. That's what I was supposed to do. Can I hide?
Not what you'd call inconspicuous.
I guess not. Requires action smashing. Yeah, I can't do anything. Step away. Oh, great. Oh, wow, they're coming out of the woodwork now. Okay. Far so good. I say, I know I can't control her. Okay. Here it is. You are an idiot. Eh. Who? Oh, you got it. Okay. Ooh, can I talk to her? Can I talk to him? Oh, I can't do anything. Crap. See. Man, I thought I had something. Alright, now can't I make it to there and turn that on? Allegern, Allegern, Allegern. You, sir. How far can you go? Go up here? Yeah, but you ain't gonna have nothing left. Whoops. Ain't gonna hit me. Haha, miss me. Come on, send me some spells. Or not. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not good. Hmm. Where's that at? That is there. Crap. I wanted to save more. Okay, well. Where am I at? Yeah. This seems to be sucking badly. Melmoth. Looks like he may no longer be with us. This ain't good. Ain't good at all. I'm gonna have to run. See. I gotta. make my way. Well, try to make my way over there to that. First, I just gotta start moving.
Yes. Now. Ready to take over.
He's just kind of chilling out over there. What's he up to? Melmoth gnaws at his lower lip. Blood trickles from his lacerated flesh, but he doesn't seem to recognize the pain. He stares blankly at the destruction around him, his eyes flat and distant. He glances at you momentarily. It seems he hardly recognizes you present. It's here, he whispers, so this is our doom. All of our lives have been leading to this moment. We cannot escape that. He gestures you away, not looking at me. Run if you like. I accept our fate. Okay. No. You gotta fight. Gotta fight. You ain't got no choice. You gotta fight. I'll make you. He tears his eyes away from the flames to stare at you. He coughs a bitter laugh. Hope is the folly of youth, but if I die here, all my life's work is for nothing. Might as well try. Is that what you're saying? See if I can scratch out a few more years, or at least make sure someone else can scratch out a few more of their own? Fine, let's go. That's better. Ooh, man, that thing hits pretty hard. Okay, whatever. Ooh. I think they're multiplying. That's what it looks like anyway. Ooh. That looks bad. I don't want to fight. 800 HP, holy crap. No, there's no way. Nope. Nope, those are one-shot kills. Yep. Well, he's gone. You got while the getting was good. Oh, no. Now what am I supposed to do? What in the devil am I supposed to do now? Oh my goodness. I try to make it to that right there, I guess. Only thing I know to do. Oh yeah, that's okay. Turn objective. Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, I am Makina. Where is Makina? Okay, she is over here. No, don't. Okay. Man, can I set these two? She shouts to you above the din. Hope is not lost. The Ferratori. If there is any truth in the legends, then it is our only hope. She looks up at the towering sorrow. But you'll need time to understand it. If one of us is brave, perhaps others can live to find a way to stop it. She breathes in once. I am brave. I am brave. I will buy the time for you and the others, young one. Make the most of it. Suddenly, everything falls into place. This is the vision from the tapering obelisk. Adiris is the woman you saw impaled by the sorrow. Saw a vision of you to the tapering obelisk. She listens to your words and she nods, her face a mask of tragic beauty. If I can save even one other, I will consider my life a success. I have lived long enough. It is time to see if I have the strength of my convictions. A golden glow surrounds her as she steps toward a kaleidoscope of beautiful colors, the shifting energies of the tides cast into tangible beings. She holds her hands aloft, the ethereal fires play around it. The weight of the sorrow's baleful focus settles on her. Your vision shrinks to a pinpoint as the two face each other. Ugh. He's way over here, ain't he? Yeah, he's up here somewhere. Can I talk to him? Oh, I guess I need to. Not giving me an option to talk to him at all. Go turn that on. Hey, it worked. Oh, yeah, I don't have any movement left. Step away, step away. Man, this is just not going well at all. Wow. Knocked the crap out of that thing.
Let's go. Who's going to stop us now? Yes.
Now, Allegern. Oh, Melmoth's going to move.
Sure. Just what I needed.
All right. She's not doing too well. Oh, goodness gracious. Come on. It looks like they're moving toward the exit. Sort of. Ooh. Well, that's not cool. No. You're getting too close. Uh, well, oh man. All right, took care of that. Maybe I can get over here with Makina. They're killing them, but ah, she missed. Should have took it out too. But nope. Right there. All right. Oh.
That's the stuff.
Makina maybe will be able to clear that debris. If I'd known that the sorrow itself was going to show up, I would have tried to make my way toward the exit quicker. But hindsight 2020 in these games. Oh great. No, don't come toward my people. Yeah, go the other way. Go that other way. Don't come this way. He's gonna be able to make it down there to her. She's done. She is done. Yep, that's it. She's a goner. Man, you gotta be kidding me. A few weeks. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh well. Now he can, though. Come on. There we go. Consume action. two are strong, I'll give them that. Dadgummit. Get all this far. Not going to be able to do anything. Man. Allegern ain't got no range. Oh, man. Gotta be different ways of going about this. I just picked the wrong one. They're trying to make their way, so I'm saving some of them, it looks like. Following me, at least. Combat takes a while. Oh, another one goes down. Hey. Did you get there? Ah. Why are you disconnecting? Don't be doing that. Did you get there? Ah, quit! I'm gone. Even as the heat of the fire cracks and blisters skin, the air around the structure feels damp and pregnant. It pulses in a way it wasn't before. Some kind of reaction to the sorrows present. As it is approached, three bone-like handles curl out of the structure as if in greeting. That certainly didn't happen before. Telepathic whispering begins, a cold, cacophonous chittering that is clear despite the roaring flames all around. Something is alive inside this thing. Earn it. Lever rotates slowly across the face of the structure, lubricated by a mucus film. It locks into place and withdraws into the pyramid. The cacophonous chittering grows louder. Two bones still protrude from the structure. Now, there it is. Do your thing. Earn another one. A few seconds of pushing ratchets join into place and slide soundlessly into the pyramid. The psychic noise grows even more painful, more eager. Only one lever remains unturned. She killed another one. Alright.
Yes.
And you dig it. Ooh. Ooh. A single beam protrudes from one side of the pyramid. The voices have grown to a painful pitch. Whatever's inside is eager for the structure to be opened. Ooh. Do I go ahead and try Tidal Surge? Sure. You reach out with the tides, pulling the psyche inside the device closer. The screeching, moaning, crying voices deafen you, crushing your head with psychic pressure. You think you can't handle it anymore. The mind lashes out at you, breaking open the cage that contains it. Oh, if I'd gotten there first, I could have probably done that without having everybody else having to do it. Okay, gotcha. Bone, bones glide languidly into place, then disappear into the structure. A voice or 1,000 voices moan in your head. The pyramid peels open, a swirl of transdimensional energy and biological fluids blossoming inside a portal with something else waiting on the other side. You can only hope it's not worse than the sorrow that hunts you here. It's probably the bloom. The interior of the pyramid swirls with mysterious energy. A loud, plaintive chittering beckons. Before you can react, a powerful gravitic force yanks you and your companions into the structure away from the horrors of Mil Avest. It wrenches the other surviving cast-offs inside as well, hurling them into other places beyond your reach, and you suddenly find yourself somewhere else. And we're in the blue. All right. That's basically after I get here, basically going to wrap us up for the day. But I know I've got games in the pipeline. I've still got games to complete. I've still got my Dark Souls Loungeabout. I've still got Terraria Season 1 to continue on. And I've got other games coming down the pipeline quickly approaching. And I've still got to post a final review of this game. Still got to post a final review of Torment. That's got to be after I do after I finish up with a lot of stuff with my full playthrough. I'm not going to review it until I get my full playthrough, so I can do an honest review, beginning to end. You're pulled through the territory, and the world goes dark. Your sense of sight has suddenly failed. You try to move your limbs and find that you cannot. You're alone, cut off from everyone else. You sense the terrifying presence of the sorrow as it surges through the portal behind you. Knowing you are trapped, it reaches out, and it is hurled back, shrieking in fury. Its cries vanish at once, as if an impermeable wall has suddenly been raised between you. A terrible new sound fills your ears, a chittering, whispering cacophony. Something probes at the edges of your mind, something vast and incomprehensible. Concentration? You breathe deeply, channeling your instinctive fear into cold fury. When you focus that fury against the thing that is probing your mind, at once the chittering sound ceases, and you sense the vast presence regarding you more carefully, perhaps even respectfully. A new sound replaces the chittering, a bone-jarring hum like the buzzing of insects' wings and the size of mountains. It grows stronger and louder. The sound becomes a dull ache that spreads throughout your body. The ache becomes pain, hot and searing. You grind your teeth, straining to concentrate, to keep the intruder out of your mind. Then, without warning, it stops. You feel a sudden sense of recognition and perhaps surprise. The chittering fades, and you slowly awake. All right. Dracogen. What is this? What new treasure is here for me to find? Friendly voice booms, opening your bleary eyes. You see an earnest, gray-skinned non-human with a toothy smile. He is tall and wide across the shoulders and exudes great strength. His hands terminate in long claws. But where are my manners? My name is Dracogen, and you are in the bloom. Though I dare say you didn't expect to arrive here quite like this. His voice is warm and welcoming. There is something about his tone that suggests something more predatory. He studies you briefly, his eyes roving across your body with practiced ease. If you have questions, perhaps I can answer them for you. How did I get here? All I did was touch the feretory. You don't remember? A pity. It must have been something to experience. If you'd come down from the Memavira's fortress or along one of the roadways, you'd know the path you took. The pathways of the bloom are strange, and not all its roads are pleasant. I felt others pulled into the feretory with me. Where are they? Who knows? The bloom's motivations are inscrutable, and its tendrils pass through countless worlds and dimensions. If you were brought here by the bloom itself, then these others you speak of could literally be anywhere. What were those voices? The bloom is a living creature with a reach across dimensions. Its consciousness, if I may use that term, is unlike anything we know. So unless I miss my guess, what you heard were some of the many voices of the bloom. Tell me about yourself. He swells with momentary pride. I'm Dracogen. I'm the man who can find what you need, even if you don't know you need it. I deal in information, and I pay those who work for me handsomely. Ask anyone here, and they'll tell you I trade fairly. You might also ask them what happens to those who try to cross me, but I don't think that a relationship starts best with threats. We should work from a common interest. Perhaps you can do something for me. What do you want from me? A business proposition, my friend. I wish to prove my value to you, and then you can provide value in return. I trade in information, favors, and Numenera, and it so happens I know about you and your kind. You're a cast-off of the changing God, an old acquaintance of mine. Indeed, I have known a number of your brethren. I even know about Mil Avest, your secret refuge. So ask, and I will do what I can to provide an answer. I'm here looking for the first cast-off. She has been dead for over a century. Have you tried her tomb? She's alive and she's here. Fine. If I were looking for a random cast-off in the bloom, where would I start? Very good indeed. You declare one thing, I declare another, and so you find a way to sidestep my denial. I concede, in the face of your surety, that my information may be incorrect. I do not have your answer, but I know one who might. If you wanted to know anything about the bloom, you should speak to its ruler, the Memovira. Anyone can claim that title. The question is how well she holds it. He raises an eyebrow. Well enough so far. Tell me about the Memovira. A hard, ruthless woman, she holds control of the bloom because it favors her. She uses this advantage to dominate the trade routes and control access to the malls that lead to other worlds. The malls are closing, and thus her funds are dwindling. He glances at Makina. I believe your friend here can tell you more about her. Alright, where can I find the Memovira? Inside her fortress, but she has locked her gates to outsiders while she considers the problems that face her. Only those who can provide something of value to her get in now. He bows, like me. I see, so what do you want in exchange for an introduction to the Memovira? I once had claim to an artifact, but it was spirited away to a place called the Ascension of Kex Leonish, a realm of the crystalline beauty. I need that artifact back, called the magmatic amulet, a circlet of dark, hyaline material. It is of great interest to me, great interest. I believe that you may be uniquely suited to retrieve it. He bows. Find it, bring it to me, and I guarantee you an audience with Memovira. How do I get to this ascension? Follow the caravan road to the trade post. You will find a mall there, and it will take you to the ascension. I agree. Dracogen smiles thinly and inclines his head. I hoped you might. He raises a slender finger. Oh, before we part, you have the scent of an old friend on you. Habir. You should happen to come across him again. Please tell him that I would love to see him again. He and I have matters to discuss.
Updated my journal.
Remember the magmatic amulet from the Ascension. Okay, so I'm guessing we're going to be able to make it back to Sagas Cliffs at some point, if I'm going to be able to get back to Tibir. Alright. Eridus wants to talk. Let's talk to Eridus.
Oh, it's you. Can I ask you something?
You didn't know better, you'd think he looked thoughtful. He rubs the side of his face, then the corners of his sleep-bruised eyes. I've been pondering some things for over an hour about what happened back there in Mil Avest. all those people, stories so like your own, and now so many of them have just stopped, and I barely knew them at all. How he pauses, toying with his doublet and staring at the sky, his glow pulses growing brighter and brighter until it's hard to look at him directly. How are they supposed to be part of my story if they're dead? Uh, you talk about them like they didn't exist before you came along. They were important too. Let's see. They were important too, yeah. I'm gonna go with the first one. Oh, I know, he says, chuckling. I didn't think they appeared the moment I arrived. He shakes his head. It must have been hard for them, waiting for me to get there, knowing that things would be so boring until I did. Then he slaps his forehead. We weren't talking about me. We were talking about your family. There, he begins and winces, the glow around him glowing brighter than it ever has before. He doesn't appear to notice, however. Their stories are over now, aren't they? I mean, unless they come back at some dramatic moment, more powerful than they were before. I love doing that. But assuming that doesn't happen, what does it mean? Their stories matter to them, I think, but what do they matter now? The golden light of his aura and his casual words can't quite hide the glimmering bead of sweat rolling down his cheek. Uh, uh, we escaped and they didn't. It's up to us to determine whether their lives and deaths matter. We determine their stories. I've never thought of that way. I've always lived life to the next adventure, but now I'm wondering where it will end. What will it be like? He pauses, shocked by his own thought. What will happen after? Okay, I'm gonna advance these two guys, Alagern and Maddie. Then I'm gonna wrap this up. And give him plenty of might. Now let's advance Makina and I got one might. And there. Alright guys, right. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and save it. And yeah. If you guys would please drop me a follow and thanks for coming by, and until later, I'll see you next time.